Every word of what follows parallels Mohammed in Mecca and his war of words with the Quraysh establishment.
Koran 40, verse 26. Said Pharaoh, "Leave me to kill Moses, and let him cry to his Lord. What I fear is he will change your religion, and cause mischief to appear in the land." Moses said, "I have called upon my Lord and your Lord for protection from every arrogant one who believes not in the day of doom."
Pharaoh's god was Amun-Ra. Mighty temples were erected to him. The moon god of Mecca he was not. Allah's rock pile and his puny black stone weren't in Amun-Ra's league. This leads to the line that brought us to the 40th Surah.
A believer,
Thus a Muslim,
a man from among Pharaoh's family,
therefore not a Muslim,
who had concealed his faith,
in Islam, a religion that wouldn't be invented for another 2,000 years,
said, "Will you slay a man because he says, 'My Lord is Allah,' when he has come to you with clear signs from your Lord? If he be a liar, on him is his lie. But if he is telling the truth, then some of that scourge of Allah, the calamity, which he threatens, will befall you. Truly Allah guides not one who is extravagant and lies. O my people, yours is the dominion of this day. You have the upper hand, being dominant in the land. But who will save us from Allah's punishment, should it befall us?"
What's with the "O my people" speech? Moses and his brother Aaron went alone to Pharaoh. Sure, there were Jews enslaved in Egypt, but they were miles away making bricks. The only people within earshot of Pharaoh were Egyptians, members of his staff and family.
Koran 40:29. Pharaoh said, "I point out that which I see, I guide to the right path." Then said the man who believed, "O my people, truly I fear for you something like the fate of disaster of the Confederates, something like the fate of the people of Noah, Ad, and Thamud, and those who came after them. But Allah never wishes injustice to slaves."
There isn't a trace of the Ad, and even if these imaginary people actually existed, they wouldn't have arisen in Arabia until centuries after this conversation occurred. As such, these words could not have been spoken. Therefore, Allah is lying. This dark spirit lies because it's in his nature to lie.
Koran 40:32. I fear a day when there will be mutual wailing, a day when you shall turn your backs and flee. No one shall defend you against Allah. Any whom Allah causes to err, there is no guide. That is how Allah leads the skeptic astray.
The unnamed Muslim in Pharaoh's household sounds an awful lot like Mohammed in Mecca. If they aren't the same person, they sure had the same speechwriter.
40 verse 35. Those who dispute the signs and verses of Allah without any authority, grievous and odious, hateful and disgusting, it is in the sight of Allah and the believers.
If my scriptures were this odious and hateful, I'd consider their exposure disgusting too.
Verse 36. Pharaoh said, "O Haman, build me a lofty tower, that I may attain a way to reach the heavens, that I may mount up and look upon the Ilah of Moses. But as far as I am concerned, I think Moses is a liar." Thus was made alluring in Pharaoh's eyes the evil of his deeds, and the plot of Pharaoh led to nothing but perdition.
Allah wants us to believe that the Egyptian king ordered his people to build the Tower of Babel to reach God. What's more, his Haman is from the book of Esther, and also tied to the land of the Babylonians, not the Egyptians. But at least Pharaoh knew that in 1900 years the Arabic word for God would be Ilah, not Allah.
Koran 40 verse 38. The
nameless Muslim
man,
masquerading as Muhammad,
who believed, said, "O my people, follow me. I will lead you to the right path, Islam. This life is nothing but enjoyment. It is the hereafter that is the abode to settle. Whether man or woman, a believer is such as will enter the garden of bliss. Therein they will have abundance. And, O my people, how strange it is for me to call you to deliverance, while you call me to the hell fire."
Mohammed tipped his hand again. The
right path, garden of bliss,
and
hell fire
were his most notorious themes, his signature.
Koran 40:42. You call me to blaspheme against Allah and to associate partners with Him, whom I have no knowledge.
This unknown partnership argument is nonsense played in Egypt. Their gods were exceedingly well known, and they were unabashedly numerous.
Without doubt, you do call me to one who is not fit to be called to. The transgressors will be the inmates of the hell fire.
The great unnamed masquerader wasn't finished exposing his real identity, or his purpose.
Koran 40:44. Soon you will remember what I say to you now. My own affair I commit to Allah, for Allah ever watches over His slaves. Then Allah saved him from every ill that they plotted against him, but the brunt of the penalty, the evil doom, encompassed on all sides of Pharaoh's folk.
During this whole long-winded speech, the unnamed Muslim never uttered the words for which Moses had been sent. Let my people go. And that's because Muhammad's recreation of the saga between Moses and Pharaoh was designed to liberate Allah's prophet from criticism, not Jews from bondage. With every word sounding like Mohammed in Mecca, the perversion of Moses in Egypt continued, this time with a recap of Allah's favorite subject.
Koran 40:46. In front of the fire will they be brought and exposed morning and evening, and the sentence will be, cast the people of Pharaoh into the severest torment, the most awful doom. Behold, they will argue noisily with each other while they wrangle in the hell fire. The weak ones who followed will say to those who had been arrogant, but we followed you. Can you then take on yourselves from us some share of the fire? The arrogant will say, we are all in this fire. Truly, Allah has judged between slaves.
Even with a change of scenery and exposure to the dominant culture of the day, Allah remains mired in the inferno of the Arabian desert. This Quranic charade is speaking on behalf of a religion that wouldn't be conceived for nearly 20 centuries.
Koran 40:49. Those in the fire will say to the guards and keepers of hell, pray to your Lord to lighten the torment for a day. They will say, did there not come to you your messengers with clear signs? They will say, yes. Then pray as you like, but the prayer of the disbelievers is futile and will go unanswered. They will present their excuses, but they will only have the curse and the home of misery.
The tirade ends by revealing the source from which the raw material was stolen.
Koran 40:53. We showed Moses the guidance and caused the children of Israel to inherit the scripture book, the Torah.
The 40th surah is too long to cover start to finish. But before we say goodbye to
the Forgiver,
consider this.
Koran 40:70. Those who deny the book and what we have sent down with our apostles will soon come to have iron collars and chains around their necks. They will be dragged through the boiling water and then thrust into the fire to be burnt.
We have changed gods, but it wasn't an improvement. Imagine for a moment that you're Ibn Ishaq. You're in Baghdad 130 years, or about 5 generations, after Muhammad brought these disasters upon himself. A caliph waltzes in and orders you to write the Islamic gospel, the life of the Prophet Muhammad. But all you have to work with are oral reports called hadith, handed down father to son over the vast chasm of time. You put quill to paper, but your hand shakes. With every word you destroy, demonize actually, the man responsible for the political dogma under which you toil. His scriptures are as twisted and dark as his life. So what do? To his credit, I think Ishaq wrote down what he was told. If a hadith explained an otherwise incomprehensible Koran surah, if it explained otherwise unjustifiable rituals, if it explained the change in the nature of Arabs that led to their bloodthirsty conquests, it made its way into his surah. So this lone scribe established Islam, literally. Ishaq is responsible for virtually everything Muslims know about Muhammad, his God, his scripture, and his religion. And it isn't good.